Welcome again to the Missionary Minute. Brother Slopwith here again. So I'm recording a lot today, like I said, because we have the time. The question on the sheet here that I have this time is, how do you tell the difference between your own thoughts and the Spirit? Specifically, it says, how can I tell the difference between what are the thoughts in my mind and what is inspiration by the Spirit? And first, I want to say, why can't it be both? Because it can be, but it can be tough because, as I've said before, different people experience the Spirit in a little different ways. Inspiration is funny because it can come from almost any place. It seems like anything can be an inspiration that the Spirit is giving you. I had a specific story, and a lot of people in the ward know this one, where I was on my mission. We were having trouble with a guy who was trying to understand the plan of salvation, and he got hung up on going to the moon. He was a big Star Trek fan, and the only way to communicate to him was to speak in Star Trek, which my companion couldn't do because he didn't ever watch it. He was from Canada, he's a big hockey fan, so he didn't know Star Trek from anything, really. He couldn't tell the difference between Star Trek and Doctor Who. And so to explain why this person should choose to go to the celestial kingdom rather than trying to go to the moon, I told him in very much that Star Trek kind of candor, why would you settle for the helm station when you can go to the captain's chair? Ooh, right, that hit him. And that inspiration was there because I was looking around the room and he had all this Star Trek stuff everywhere. I wasn't thinking of it. I hadn't watched Star Trek in over a year. I hadn't thought a thing about it really all that much in that whole time. But the inspiration was there. It was something that came to my mind in that moment. It was something, let's be perfectly honest, was already in my mind. And so the thought was both an inspiration from the Spirit and something that was in my own thoughts. And it's funny because the Spirit can do that. Other times you'll find yourself knowing things out of the clear blue sky that you didn't realize you knew. And there are times when inspiration is limited. I have a couple of situations that I've had over the years where I've had something that's been revealed to me in the temple, to my mind. It's personally for me that the minute I leave the temple, I don't get to have it with me. It kind of stays there, and all I have is the feeling left behind. A lot of the difference that most people will find, not all people, but most people will find, is that the thoughts in your head don't have a feeling necessarily attached to them, but the Spirit does. And if you pay attention to the emotions inside that you feel, the warmth or the lack of warmth, you'll be able to start to tell some of the difference between what is inspiration and what is just thought. But sometimes they are the same. You have to have that little caveat there, that you understand that it can go both ways at the same time, and it's your brain and the Spirit are not necessarily in opposition. It's learning to train your mind to think like the Spirit would. Because when that happens, then it won't matter whether it's your thoughts or the Spirit, because they'll be united. And I think that's kind of what we're aiming for anyway, is to get to that point where what you think is not in contention with the Spirit, but is is conjoined with it, so that what we would think would go together, would be complementary to the Spirit. Because when you get to that point, then the Spirit and your thoughts, being complementary, would never conflict with one another, and that's what we hear about in Helaman, in the book of Helaman. If we look at Nephi in there, that's kind of the goal. So think about it. I don't know if that helps anybody, but take a little time, ponder on that, and I'll talk to you guys next time.